everyone, this is Brittany with the Tulare Public Library. Today we are going on an adventure. We are going to visit the Tulare Animal Services Department, talk to some of the staff, check out some of the animals they have, and learn more about that city department. We're so excited to get started, so come on, let's go!
Shelter manager here. We're going to do a tour, show everybody what we have in the facility. They're going to ask some questions. We're going to answer them for them, and kind of go through what the services we have here. So this is the lobby right here. We also have Melissa up front, who does all of the licensing, all the record keeping, answering questions, making appointments. With the COVID-19, we've had a few more issues involved, so we've had to make appointments for almost everything. So people need to call first, okay, so we can get appointments set up where they can come in and view dogs, do licensing, and everything like that. This is the main shelter that we have here. We house up to 160 dogs. We can't house up to that many. Right now we're very few because we're getting them in and out very quickly because of COVID-19. We don't have many in the shelter. This is our big laundry room. We do all the laundry, the mops in here, folding of the towels. So all this is laundry for those guys and for the cat room also. This room in here is basically our, if we have any issues with bite quarantines or dogs that are pregnant and very pregnant and they need some quiet area, we can put them in here so it's less quiet. We close the door and they're just isolated from all this noise out here, which is really loud after a while. I bet. And this is our intake area, where the ACOs come in, bring the animals in, we weigh them, vaccinate them, if we have to bathe and dip them, de-tick them, or whatever we have to do, everything's pretty much done back here. And then we assess them at that point to see if they need to go in isolation, or if we need to call to get them out to a foster because they just can't handle the facility themselves, or they go into general population. So this is the very quiet area. This is the cat area. We do our euthanasias here. We do surgeries here when we have our vet to do our spay and neuters. So she is here, and we do them in this area also. Okay. This is the cats. In here.
So do you work with other animal shelters statewide or even nationwide?
Nationwide.
Nationwide.
So
wow.
Our van that was sitting out there is the Friends of Tulare Animal Services van. Okay. And that van hauls dogs to Redding, Eureka, Oregon, Idaho, Washington. We've done some to Nevada. We've actually flew them to New York. So we've spread out quite a bit from the first time that we started in here. Wow. So it's been we've been busy with getting these animals out. Most of these animals don't stay very long. Okay. If you see them on our webpage, which are Friends of Tulare Animal Services, if you see them there, they need to call quickly if they want to adopt. Okay. We put them on there so every animal that is found goes onto that website.
Okay.
And that website, the owners can look and see if their animals are here, that kind of thing. So.
Okay. Wow, wonderful. That's so good to know that the whole nation is working to get these animals a safe home.
We get them a safe home. A lot of these animals also too get spayed before they leave.
Oh, okay.
So.
And I know that you were mentioning, I think all the beautiful, wonderful puppies barking may have not allowed our audience to hear, but you were saying as soon as they come in, they're all immunized, groomed, spayed and neutered. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, they're microchipped. If they have issues with mats, we'll get them clipped, we'll get them groomed, and those dogs that are really mat heavy, they'll go to Pet Envy because they actually do our animals for us, and it's a no charge to us, and we can get them groomed, get them taken care of before they actually are in the shelter floor. We get them vaccinated. They get flea treatments, tick treatments. Before they leave our facility, they get parvo tested, they get heartworm tested. So then we make sure that everything is done, so when they go off to their new home, the owners don't have much to do.
I have two follow-up questions, and then I think
okay.
I noticed, or you had mentioned also when we were checking out the dogs, that they each get out. Was it an hour to an hour and a half to stay in the play yard?
It depends on how many dogs we have in the shelter.
Okay.
Our vet technician and I go out and into our play groups, and they all go out, and I'll show you the play yard.
Okay.
So we'll have the small dogs in a separate area and the bigger dogs in our large play groups. We do test these dogs with cats. You saw our 2 cats that were here. So they are our test dummies, so to speak. And they get tested with the dogs to make sure the dogs are okay with cats. We do with small dogs too. If foster they have small dogs already, and they need to make sure these dogs are okay with their dogs. So we do that also. People that are wanting to adopt, if they have dogs at home, we highly recommend that they bring their dogs down. Okay. And then we have a play group or interaction with our dogs to their dogs to make sure that they're okay to go home. So we're not having any issues, especially also if they have kids. We want to make sure that they're kid friendly too.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a good system. And then the last thing I wanted to ask you, you mentioned working with Pet Envy for grooming services. You obviously work with other animal shelters nationwide. Are there any other local or national businesses or organizations that you work closely with to place animals, to take animals in? Any partnerships that that are really at the forefront of your business working?
Well, basically we do a lot with the SPCA that's in right behind Lampe Dodge. So we work with them, especially with we don't have the money to put out of a lot for, say, an injured dog that has a broken leg or a parvo dog, things like that. The SPCA will take them, get them treated, so they can get them out to a rescue. So we deal a lot with the SPCA in that aspect.
Wonderful.
And it's been a nice arrangement. So they'll pick them right up from us and get them taken care of. So now this is actually the Friends of Tulare Animal Services and the Heigl Foundation put this together. I want to say 4 years ago.
Okay.
The shelter, that type of thing. For a puppy area, which is full concrete, so we can hose it off, so we're not getting any exposure to any other dogs coming in and out of here. Our other play group here for the other bigger dogs, and then this one here is for our large dogs. They get a pool when it's nice and warm. They'll get a pool to play with. We've got a bunch of toys that are sitting over here and we can play with. Since COVID happened, we don't have any volunteers here. So, but before that, they were walking dogs for us, coming out in the play yard, throwing ball with the dogs that wanted to play ball. So it was nice because they could get these dogs out more than what we do in the morning time.
And can I ask you, looking into the future, when hopefully COVID is in our rearview mirror, what would someone do if they were interested in volunteering for the shelter and you guys started accepting volunteers again? Would they just call the front?
They would call the front, they would come down. We have a volunteer form. Okay. There is a volunteer manual that we go over, and we kind of walk people through everything, kind of see what their experience is. If they've never had a dog or never owned a dog, then they may start smaller and work their way up to walking dogs. They have to have a little bit of experience handling dogs and be comfortable with dogs. They can bathe, they can feed, they can walk dogs. We've had some kids that wanted to run with a dog, so we've had some dogs that were easy to get along with, and they go out running with them, especially some of these track kids. So we've had some of that going on. That was before COVID.
Yeah, of course.
What else? Laundry. I mean, it's pretty much everything that our staff does, they can do. The only thing is, of course, euthanasias and medications and things like that we do set them. But they work very nicely hand in hand with us. That helps us because we are short-staffed. So it helps getting these dogs the attention they need.
Wonderful. And if someone is interested in donating or sponsoring in either way, would they just visit your website or call?
Visit our website. Call would probably be the best. Talk to Melissa, and she can get them prices on donations. We take pretty much anything from food to towels. For the food, we feed our own food here, and I order that. But the food that we get as far as donation goes to some of these people that foster our animals. So they're getting food that they don't have to pay for all their vaccinations. If they need medical attention, we do all the medical attention as far as the foster goes. All we want them to do is have a good home, being able to be out and with kids and get it socialized. Because a lot of these dogs that come in are just terrified. And it's easier and it's better on them once they get out into a home that's a loving home instead of in the shelter. The shelter just shuts them down. So that's why we do a lot of play groups. We try to get people's dogs out so they feel like a dog instead of locked in a kennel.
And as far as your foster program, do you offer everything from short-term to long-term? Does it just depend on the individual animal situation?
It depends on the individual animal. Usually a lot of our small dogs go out very, very, very quickly. Okay. And so if anywhere from 4 days is a stray hold, it's 4 business days. 6 days is an owner hold. If someone is owner surrendering a dog, they're here for 2 days before they leave, just in case the owner changes their mind. Once they come back and pick up their dog, it's here for at least 2 days before it goes out. But it depends on the dog. If we have some of these pit bulls that we just have a hard time getting them into a home, then they can go to a foster and they can take care of them. Some of them had them for a week, some of them had them for 2 or 3 months. And usually at that point, some of those people go ahead and adopt them.
Okay.
They've just fallen in love with them.
Oh. So flexibility, if you're thinking about fostering, flexibility is definitely a good,
If you've never owned a dog and you would like to see if that's something you would want to do, absolutely. Come down, foster a dog, pick, the small dog 1 week and pick a larger dog the next week, and see what you like. See what's more comfortable to you, or what's in your home. If you have a big backyard, or if you're in an apartment, there's different things you can do. Plus cats. We have a lot of fosters in the springtime for cats. So that's a big one in that time of the year.
Perfect. All right, Bonnie, so a couple more questions for you. If someone is interested in adopting, whether it be a cat or a dog, what would the first steps be? How do they contact you? Is there a fee involved? What are some of the other elements that we may have not covered so far?
Okay. Basically, when you want to adopt an animal, you can look on our Facebook page, Friends Of. You can see what's available, what we have in the facility at that time. Call Melissa, which is our licensing technician, and she will walk you through which dog you're interested in or what cat you're interested in, and then we will fill out adoption paperwork. We will get the animal fixed if it's not already, and then there's a fee. We make sure that everything's vaccinated, everything's done before they leave, and then if they want to come back in and do vaccines here, they can at that time also.
Great. And I know you mentioned, you know, some of the fees and contacting you. Are there any qualifications for being able to adopt an animal? I know you previously mentioned if they have children or other animals that they're looking to pair an adopted animal with, you make sure it's a good fit. Apart from that, is there anything that would...
Not really.
Okay.
They're not quite sure about adopting at that point. They can always foster.
Okay.
And you can foster at any given time. You can take them for a weekend. If you're going to the coast, you want to take a dog for a weekend. You know, it's nice. They get out, they get to play in the sand, they get to play in the ocean, and you get to see if that's the kind of a dog that you want to do. If you want to take a pit bull, if you want to take a shepherd, we just assess them before they leave.
And you mentioned fostering, there's no fee, and sometimes Tulare Animal Services is even able to help with food and some items, but there's no fee. And then one final question for you. On the other side of getting to the point where the animals are brought in, they're being fostered, they're being adopted, what about if someone sees an animal in the community, whether they think it's lost, if it appears sick? Are there any specifications of when they should call you and about what circumstances they should call you?
The office is open. Okay, Monday, it's open from 10 to 7.
Okay.
Tuesday through Friday, it's open from 8 to 5. We do have the animal control officers out in the field 24/7. So if you do have something that's sick, that's a stray, you can call the police dispatch, and that number is 687-2288. And then they will dispatch either a police officer, depending on what time it is, a police officer or an animal control officer. And then we can pick up that animal for them. If it's stray animals that you find on the weekend, we're not open to drop them off. If they can hold them, that's wonderful. And then they can bring them in after the weekend's over.
All right, Bonnie, I just want to thank you so much for your time and all of the information. You know, we think it's so important for members of the community to really understand how you work and how you provide such a wonderful service to both our furry animal community members as well as the people of our community. So thank you for your time, and we really, really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right, everyone, we really hope you enjoyed the Tulare Animal Services tour as much as we did. Something that I wanted to mention that Bonnie told us when it was a bit loud is that there is a misconception that when you call Tulare Animal Services, a lot of the animals are put down, and Bonnie was telling us that's just not the case. Right now they have a 98% live release rate, meaning that 98% of the animals that come in get fostered or adopted out. So we were really heartened to hear that statistic. They were also telling us, Bonnie and Melissa that is, that one of the silver linings of COVID has been that more people are actually fostering and adopting animals. So we were really heartened to hear that most of the animals they see come in are going to a loving home. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that, because I think it's really important. So again, thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you learned as much as we did, and we hope that if you're interested in fostering animals, in adopting, or once we get on the other side of COVID, if you're interested in volunteering to help walk dogs, play with animals, that you'll give Tulare Animal Services a call. We will be sure to leave all of the contact information in the comments so that you can make sure to get in touch with them if that meets your needs. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time.